We hope everyone's having a fantastic week. From time to time, we get questions from doctors around the state in regards to their advertising and what some of the things that they can and can't do. More recently, we got a call about someone who was claiming that they were the only doctor that could treat a particular condition. They were the only one that had been trained to treat a particular condition. And that raises a few flags. And so we wanted to cover this because these are things that you need to be aware of in your practice, in your advertising, whether it's word of mouth advertising, radio advertising, print, email, if you're blogging or social media. Any of that really comes into play and is considered marketing or advertising when it comes down to your practice. So we want to touch on a couple of these things and make sure that that you all have the information you need to make sure that you're not in violation of the law. So one of the big keys is claims to superior care. And there's a few sections in the Medical Practice Act. We're looking at Section 22 and we're looking at Section 26 that cover a variety of these types of things that could and very well would generate disciplinary action if you were to go down that road. In the instance that we talked about before, basically we could be looking at a number of different violations. And so one of the big ones is this. You never want to claim superior care to another physician. So you don't want to claim that you are better than another physician. That could be a physician group. It could be an individual physicians. It could be just claiming superior. I'm better than everybody else. Now, some people may be nominated or elected, if you will, by their local newspaper as the chiropractor or the chiropractic physician of this town, or as elected by. As long as you clearly indicate that as elected by, then you can use that type of information. In other words, as elected by, and it has to be a legitimate. It can't be your blog or your social media site claiming that you're the best. As long as it's a large circulation newspaper, which is what we see most often, that would be okay. But if you're just claiming that you have superior care, then that would be really a direct violation of 26.2, which reads, "It is unlawful for any person licensed under this act to use claims of superior care, a superior quality of care to entice the public." So you're using it in your marketing, your advertising. The idea is to generate business. And if you're claiming that you're better than everyone else or anyone else, then that is a claim of superior care. Now, the other is this, and be wary and understand that anything you say in marketing or advertising, you have to be able to prove. And also then in 26.3, it goes on to say, "Nor shall the advertiser use statements which contain false, fraudulent, deceptive, or misleading material, or guarantees of success, statements which play on the vanity or fears of the public, or statements which promote or produce unfair competition." So the big thing is there, you want to make sure that whatever you say is absolutely 100% true, and that you're not saying it at a time or at a moment where it very well could be that you're preying on someone's fears for what they may be going through. And so be careful in that regards, because that can also jump into solicitation, which is a whole different bag that we're not going to talk about today. Other things that come into play is you want to make sure that you don't violate then 22.10, which is similar to what we just talked about as far as false statements. Making any false or misleading statement regarding your skill or efficacy or the value of medical treatment or remedy prescribed by you as the provider at the direction in the treatment of any disease or any condition of the body or mind. So in other words, you want to make sure that whatever you're saying to the patient or to the public in your advertising isn't overstating the efficacy of what you're able to add value to. In other words, it's really good if you're going to make a statement about the efficacy of a particular condition that you treat, have backup. Form a file and keep the studies and the research that you're using to be able to make that kind of a statement in there as clear evidence. Make sure that the evidence that you're utilizing is in a respectable journal. Again, not just stated on your social media site inside your blog or by another company that maybe that you have paid to be able to do that. You want to make sure that it is by a reputable organization that's published the material and that lends to its credence of being truthful and not misleading. The last is this, and this is another kind of an odd one, and in some of the cases, you want to make sure that you're not claiming that you do something that no one else does, and you're the only one that knows how to do this, because then you could definitely be running into 2219 of the Medical Practice Act, and that would be offering, undertaking, or agreeing to cure or treat a disease by a secret method, procedure, treatment, or medicine, or the treating, operating, or prescribing for any human condition by a method, means, or procedure which you refuse to divulge upon demand of the department. So in other words, if you're claiming that you're doing something that's secret, that's special, that no one else does, that can also be a serious problem. So we're going to make sure that you're not doing that. So even if in those cases that it's truthful, that it is secret, there's a variety of things that can come up and be a challenge there. But in the world of medicine, in the world that we are in healthcare, the idea is that it's for the patient. And there shouldn't necessarily be any secrets in this regard, but instead, for the good of the patients, for the good of everyone, that the treatment that we render and the protocols that we use in our office are for the good of the public and for the patients and for a healthier Illinois. Hopefully this information helps you out with your advertising and improves our overall compliance and keeps us all safe. You take care. We'll catch you next week.